There's a person in your life. Maybe they're still there. Maybe they're just a memory now. But when you think about them, something in your chest shifts. Not loudly, just shifts, like your body remembers something your mind hasn't fully named yet. I've been thinking a lot lately about what it really means to meet someone you were supposed to meet, not the version they show you in films, not the one where the music swells and everything suddenly clicks into place. The real version, the one where you're still mid-mess, mid-healing, mid-confusion, mid-becoming someone you don't fully recognize yet, and someone walks in, and something inside you goes quiet. That's what this video is about. Not the signs you read in an article and forget by morning. What it actually feels like. I want to tell you about a night I think about more than I probably should. A few years ago, I was sitting in a parked car outside someone's apartment. It was late. We weren't in a good place. One of those seasons in a relationship where everything feels held together with tissue paper and good intentions. We had things to say to each other, important things, but neither of us was saying them. We just sat there. The kind of silence that can mean everything is fine or everything is ending, and you can't tell which until someone moves. I remember looking at her hand on the center console, and I remember thinking, just reach over, just reach over. But I didn't, and she didn't, and we sat there for maybe 20 minutes in that silence. And the strange thing, the thing I've never been able to explain properly, is that it was the calmest I had felt all day. Not because things were okay, they weren't, but because she was there. And even in the weight of everything we were carrying, her presence was still the softest part of my day. That's when I understood something no book ever taught me. That the right person doesn't always arrive with certainty and fireworks. Sometimes they arrive in the middle of the storm, and they don't make the storm stop. They just make you less afraid of it. So I want to walk you through 5 things that tend to happen when 2 people are genuinely meant for each other. Not as a checklist, not as a quiz you score yourself on, as a mirror. Something to hold up to what you've already lived, or what you're living right now, and recognize. Most of us grow up believing that the right person arrives when we are finally ready, when the healing is done, when the career is stable, when we become the version of ourselves we've been working toward. But I have never seen it happen that way. Not once. The people who find each other, really find each other, almost always meet mid-storm, mid-heartbreak, mid-rebuilding, mid-becoming. And the meeting doesn't feel like rescue. It feels like recognition, like looking at a stranger and thinking, you're also in the middle of something, aren't you? And somehow, that becomes a foundation, not shared perfection, shared humanity. Think about the person who changed something inside you. Were you ready when they arrived? Or did they arrive precisely because you weren't? There's a kind of love that keeps you anxious, always reading the temperature of the room, always choosing your words carefully, always slightly braced for the shift, for the silence that means something went wrong, for the look that tells you you've somehow become too much or not enough. A lot of us have lived in that kind of love for so long we started to think that's just what love feels like, that the butterflies were supposed to feel like panic, that the uncertainty meant it was real. But that wasn't love keeping you anxious. That was fear, wearing love's clothes. The real thing feels different, not boring, not without fire, just safe. Safe the way home is safe. The kind of safety that lets you fall asleep mid-sentence and not worry about what it means. Where their effort doesn't need to be decoded. Where their silence doesn't need to be survived. Where you realize, slowly, that you've stopped holding your breath around them. If you felt that, even once, you already know exactly what I mean. And if you haven't, I need you to know it exists. And you deserve it. I want to say this carefully because I think it matters more than almost anything else on this list. There's a kind of relationship that shrinks you. Not always cruelly. Sometimes quietly. the slow disappearing of the parts of you that are too loud, too sensitive, too much, until one day you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person looking back. And you've been calling it love for 2 years because they stayed. But staying is not the same as accepting. The right person does something different. They make you expand, not by pushing you, by witnessing you, by looking at the parts of yourself you were most ashamed of and not flinching, by making you feel like you don't have to earn a right to take up space. Around the right person, you start hearing yourself again. Your real laugh, your real opinions, your real dreams, the ones you stop saying out loud because someone once made you feel foolish for having them. That's not a small thing. That's everything. I used to think that connection meant conversation, that the sign of something real was never running out of things to say. But some of the most connected moments I've ever felt had no words in them at all. Just a room, 2 people, one of them reading or not reading, the other near a window, not speaking, but the space between them, full. There's a silence that's empty, the kind that sits between 2 people who have run out of things to share. And there's a silence that's full, the kind between 2 people who don't need words to feel each other. When someone's presence alone feels like a conversation, when just having them near makes the whole day softer, that is not ordinary. Most people spend their whole lives never feeling that with another person. If you have, even once, I hope you didn't take it for granted. And if you lost it, I'm sorry. I genuinely am. This last one is the hardest to explain until you've lived it. Meeting the right person doesn't just change how you feel about love. It changes how you feel about yourself. Suddenly the dream you kept deferring feels possible again. Suddenly you're healing from things you didn't even know were still bleeding. Suddenly you're more present, more alive, more like the version of yourself you thought you'd lost somewhere along the way. Not because they fixed you, but because being truly loved, being truly seen, gives you back the person you abandoned somewhere in the middle of surviving. And sometimes, when it ends, when life changes it, when distance or time or circumstance takes it from you, you look back and realize the most important thing they gave you wasn't a relationship. It was a reminder. The reminder of who you are when someone loves you right. And then you carry that forward. And you refuse, quietly but completely, to settle for anything less. I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with it before you scroll. Think about a relationship, past or present, where you felt even one of these things: the peace, the expansion, the silence that was somehow full, the meeting that happened at exactly the wrong time in your life and somehow became the most right thing. Now ask yourself, did you ever tell them? Did you tell them that around them, your nervous system finally rested? Did you tell them that they made you feel like yourself again, the version of yourself you've been missing? Did you tell them that the silence between you was the safest place you'd ever been? Or did you keep it inside, the way we keep the most important things inside, afraid that naming it might break it? I want to hear about it, not the highlight reel, the real thing. Tell me in the comments, who was that person for you? What did it feel like to be near them? And if it ended, what did you carry with you when it did? This is a safe space. And I read every single one. At the end of everything, I believe this. The right relationship doesn't just make you feel loved. It makes you feel found. Like all the roads it felt like wrong turns, all the heartbreaks, all the almost right people, all the love you gave that wasn't given back were never mistakes. They were just the road that brought you here, to this, to them, or to the version of yourself that's finally ready. This is Loom of Love, where we don't just talk about love, we feel our way through it, together. If this video sat somewhere in your chest, share it with someone who needs to feel seen today. And I'll see you in the next one.